Hi guys!
Hello everyone, welcome to our little presentation where we would like to show you some web pages and applications to practice English at home.
So let's get started. Sorry again for not going live today. Unfortunately, we had some difficulties with the internet connection and Facebook, more specifically. So we have been trying to solve this situation, and basically we came up with this idea to record our screen and share with you our YouTube presentation, or share with you our presentations through YouTube.
Yeah.
So let's get started with the first one. This is called EnglishCentral.com, and this is a perfect web page to do any kind of listening activities. As you can see, there are different type of videos. You can choose different levels, different topics, and basically when you watch the video, you can click on the Learn the Words section, and you can learn some new expressions and new words, what you heard before during the listening or during watching the video. That's the first one. I hope you've never heard about that. This web page and this application is free, but you need to register. And as I remember, you can register with your Facebook account, so there shouldn't be any problem through your registration.
The next one is QuizRed. It is also a video-based application, or more specifically a website, because you don't have to download anything. You can select your level when you start using the web page, and it will give you a video that you're interested in, so you can choose from a list. And after watching the video, you can answer some questions. So it will create a fun quiz for you that matches your level, and that way you can learn useful vocabulary. You can make sure you're understanding the text, or at least the gist of it, and the most important information. So it's basically vocabulary and listening exercises that can help you improve your English through these short videos. It's really fun.
Yeah, and which is great about this webpage, as you can see on the top, there are different levels up to C2. So this is very unique and very special, because mostly those web pages where you can practice your listening are great for B2 level students or B2 speakers. So it's hard. I have hardly ever seen a web page where you can listen to C2 videos, and you can also practice the grammar with these videos. Depends on which topic you want to choose, but you can practice grammar as well, and you can choose from British English, American English, and Australian English as well.
And I see some Irish there.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is also for listening. This is called VoiceTube. This web page, very similar to the previous ones. Why I like this web page is because, as you can see here, maybe in the picture, you can follow the text with your own eyes. And if you are not familiar with the word, actually you can click on the word and you can find an English explanation of that word, which you don't know or you never heard of. So that's why I think this is great, because while you are watching and listening and learning and trying to understand what's the video about, you can absolutely directly click on the word and get the meaning as well. So you don't need to use another web page to look up the words. And as you can see, the videos are also from A1 to C1 or C2. So there are plenty of videos for higher level students as well. So I really recommend this webpage. I really do.
The next one is YouWish. This is also a web-based application, so you don't have to download anything. Just type in YouWish.com. It is a blending of YouTube and English, and it's a web page that you can use for practicing pronunciation. So what you're going to do when you start using it, let's say you find a word in any context that you don't know how to pronounce. You're reading something and you're curious to hear how to pronounce it. You just put the word in the search bar, click on Say It, and it will give you thousands of YouTube videos where you can listen to the word in context from native speakers. So they're actual YouTube videos, interviews, speeches from, I don't know, the president of the US or some actor, it doesn't matter. But you can hear them in real life contexts. You can also choose the accent here. You can either have all the accents, or you can hear American, UK, or Australian accent. And if you click on the videos, you can go from one video to the other, so you can hear the same word 1,000 times even.
And this is also the next one, listening application. It's actually a podcast. This is BBC. This is a BBC program. However, you cannot find on the internet if you write like BBC. You need to write in the Google like the English we speak. If you Google it, you will find the web page or different web pages where you can listen to those podcasts. Why do we recommend this web page? Is because you can listen to some daily language. So people speak faster than in BBC. I mean, in the 6 minutes BBC English. So the people use faster language and more natural language, and the topics are basically built around the daily vocabulary. So nothing specific, and there are no activities, no tests included. However, it's really good just for listening, like for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and so on. So I would really recommend this webpage instead of BBC 6 minutes, or if you feel like BBC 6 minutes is too easy for you.
The next one is RealLife English Podcasts. It's also a really, really cool database for accessing podcasts. They are designed for language learners, but also they are a bit higher level as well. You can learn, as the picture says, tons of great new vocabulary, even slang, since it's natural speech that you can hear, idioms, phrasal verbs, so anything that you would use in an everyday conversation. This is not textbook English, so that's the biggest advantage of podcasts.
And this is also podcast, so you will not find any web pages under this name, so you need to Google it. Okay, so in the Google engine or Google web page, you need to type the Real Life English, okay, and then you can find the podcast, or maybe with your phone, with your mobile phone, you can download the podcasts. The next one is Business English Pod. If you are into business English, I would really recommend you this webpage or these podcasts. As you can see, there is a webpage on the top, thebusinessenglishpod.com. So if you go on this page, you can find the podcasts there. You don't need to download. You can download them, but you don't need to. And as you can see, one podcast can last for 25 minutes, which is great. I would really recommend this page for business English learners. So definitely the podcasts are about business English, so not daily language and not general English. But it's really useful.
The next one is Fun Brain. It is designed for children, mainly. It contains videos, games, interactive online games that you can practice your English with, some listening. So it's mostly for children. But I would recommend it to beginners or even to some pre-intermediate students as well. You can find different activities, or if you would like to practice together with your child, since you're in home office anyway, I highly recommend this webpage.
And if you go on the web page, on the first page, the opening page, you can find the options, the different grades or different ages. So you just need to choose the proper age for your child. And for example, yesterday I was watching a superhero film. I think it was about Superman, a video about Superman, and it was all in English, and it was a cartoon. It was like 6 minutes long. So if you have a child and you want your child or children to practice some English, this is perfect for them. This is a really cool webpage. It's hard, but it's really cool. You can find some videos based on different levels, and which is interesting about that webpage that you need to write down. It works like a dictation. So you need to write down every single word and every single sentence what you hear in the video. Do not worry, because you don't need to listen the whole 5 minutes or 6 minutes video at once. There are parts, okay, different parts of the video. So it's cut. It's already been edited by someone. It doesn't really matter, but you can choose from the different sections. So maybe you can listen to the first 50 seconds. You can listen to it like 100 times, and then you need to type down exactly the sentences and the words, what you heard, and then you can move on to the next section. So it's really great. If I were you, I wouldn't start with a high-level video. I would start maybe with an easier one. But it's really great to practice listening and spelling and writing at the same time. The next one is also very similar to the previous one, but it's also for children and teenagers and maybe lower level students. This is called spelling training. There are no videos, but words and topics, what you can choose from, like school or travel, and you can hear different words in connection with the topics, and you need to type them down. There are also games which you can use to practice the spelling with, so not just like listen and type. There are different games what you can choose from. Okay, next one.
It's Lit to Go. It is a very exciting and very useful website if you want to practice reading and also listening, because it's a huge repository of books and different types of literature. You can see that you can select the author, the genre, or different collections, the readability, where you can determine your level. And you can also listen to the books, listen to the text. That's why I said it's also good for listening. So basically, it's a collection of books and audiobooks that you can practice with.
Okay, and the last one in the listening section, I'm sure you know this webpage because it's one of the most popular ones, the lyrics training, but maybe you've never heard about it. It's great. I love it. I use it in class because basically you can choose from different levels, different videos, clips, songs, documentaries, interviews, anything what you want. And it works the same way like the first two. You need to type in the missing words which you heard in the video. You can choose from different levels, and you can choose from different English, like American, Australian, or British. And I would really recommend first doing the intermediate level, not the C1, because the C1 can be pretty hard.
This one, play phrase, it's very similar to YouWish, so you can listen to words and you can hear words in context in movies and videos. So if you type in the word that you're interested in to hear in a natural context or in a cool movie, like in Aliens, Hangover.
Yeah, I typed Hangover yesterday. I don't know why.
Wonder. Okay, so you can just type in the word that you're interested in, and it will give you multiple options to listen to. So you just basically click, and listen to the same word in different contexts.
Yeah, and you will see short scenes using that word. So not 5 minutes and 6 minutes videos, only short ones. Okay, now let's get into the reading section. Some web pages where you can practice reading besides VOA News and BBC and so on. So the dreamreader.net, it's a free English reading web page. You can choose from easy English, interesting English, fun English, and so on and so on and so on. As you can see, they also have a Facebook page, so you can like the page itself. You choose the topic, and then you can read some articles in connection with this topic, and you can learn some new expressions. So, for instance, if you choose weather, there are some articles based around this topic, weather, and you can learn, for example, weather idioms. So it's great for learning and reading at the same time.
And Newsela.
Newsela, yes.
Pronounce it. This is very similar. So it's also a news website. You can read news that you can expand your vocabulary and your reading skills with. And you can search for any topic that you're interested in. So you can have, I don't know, weather, if we were talking about weather, or female I don't know, writers or celebrities. So
yeah, you can use the search engine to look for some topics what you are interested in. All these web pages are actually free to register. So you can see my name because I am registered on this page. I used my Google account to register, but it was absolutely free. I didn't have to pay a penny. So all these web pages, they work the same way like Breaking English News, for instance, but maybe the web page itself a little bit more interesting, because Breaking English News, I love it, but honestly, it's a bit boring.
Yeah.
So it's a bit boring. It's not my favorite one. So I'd rather read something colorful and more interesting than Breaking English News. It's not a bad web page. It's useful, but not my favorite one. Okay. This is absolutely the same. The New York Times. I don't know if you've heard about it, but New York Times actually does have a web page for learning English and learning network. So if you go and type this in Google or on Chrome, you will be directed to this webpage, the Learning Network webpage, so not the original New York Times webpage. And you can find tons of articles, what you can read, and you can practice some vocabulary activities afterwards. And if you are a teacher, I would really recommend you using this webpage as well, because as you can see, there are some lesson plans also included, so you can use the news during your class time. This is not reading, so we are getting into the vocabulary section.
Yes, of course, this webpage was designed for kids. It's also free. They are proudly announcing in the green box that they're free. You can choose the grade of the child, so from 1st grade to 7th grade, so primary school.
Yes, basically.
And you can practice some vocabulary here. Of course, you see that this is designed for kids, but if you're a beginner of English...
Or also elementary, beginner and elementary, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can use it, and it can be very useful. It's really cute, and it has cute graphics and everything, but at the same time, it's very useful to practice. And since it's free, you should maybe give it a try if you're a beginner.
And it's for vocabulary and grammar as well, because I tried it yesterday, and I think I was a 7th grade or 6th grade student, and I was practicing the present simple. So, yeah, it's like the British Council's kids webpage. So I know it's designed for kids, but I think it's really cute and sweet for adults as well, if you are a beginner or elementary level student. Okay, the next one, my favorite one. Please, if you haven't got it, download it on your phone. As you can see, doesn't matter if you've got Apple or Android, freerise.com, because it's perfect for vocabulary practice and learning. It's simple. You get a word, and then you need to choose the best answer out of 4, which is similar to the original meaning. Which is great about that you can practice also on C2 level. So you can choose your difficulty. And yeah, you don't need to go on the webpage. You can download the application. So it's great, and it's free.
Games to learn English. Well, the name speaks for itself. The webpage contains games where you can learn English. You can see that, for example, there's a vocabulary section, fast vocabulary. There are different games like click and drag the words to match the images. It's really cool if you have some free time. But also you can practice grammar. Like you see in the right picture, it says the future, practice future sentences with going to. So you can also choose the grammar unit. There are also phrases you can practice, and spelling. So what the apps we have mentioned before, this is kind of similar. So you can type up words and you can practice and memorize how to spell them.
If you are a high-level student like C1, C2, maybe this is not the best webpage for you. But if you are a beginner, elementary up to intermediate, I think you will not find it easy. So go for it and try. Next one of my favorite. This is absolutely a vocabulary webpage, practicing vocabulary webpage, and definitely for high-level students as well. Why? Because you can also practice idioms and slang, so different topics with different games. Really, even there are some really tough ones. So go and check the webpage and try if you can do it. Some activities are pretty hard. So, for example, the idiom and slang game, it can be tough.
And we have arrived to the game section and the app section for real now. Word Fun World. It's an app you can download. You can see that it is now from App Store, but I'm sure you can.
You can download in Play Store.
Yeah, and as the name suggests, it is mostly for words, so vocabulary, and it's quite fun and a cute game to practice.
It's very, very, very sweet. So also for children, but I think also for adults, because yesterday I was playing with it and it's cute, it's funny, it's sweet. And as you can see, it was created by Cambridge. So I would really suggest for young learners up to 12, 13 years old, and beginner adults and elementary adults as well. This is one of the best one.
Quiz Your English, yes. So again, it was created by Cambridge. And it's a trivia game, really cool. You have to answer questions. You can select from different topics and you can compete against each other. So you can challenge your friends or you can play against strangers from anywhere in the world. You can have a show off of how much you have learned, and it's really cool. So it's a classic trivia game where you can, even if you're home alone, you can find a partner to play with.
Yeah, and you can practice vocabulary and grammar at the same time from A1 to C2, which means up to high level as well. So please go and download it because it's free. And the last one is IELTS Vocabulary. So I know nowadays many students have been preparing for IELTS language exam. So if you want to practice vocabulary, grammar, essay, even writing sections, so essay writing, I would really recommend this app. And it's also free, and I think it hasn't been, it's not by Cambridge, but it doesn't really matter. It's one of the best one. And I tried, so I tested it, and it works also offline, so you don't need internet if you once downloaded this app.
Yeah, so these were our ideas for you guys. These are the web pages that you may not have heard of. Maybe you have, but maybe not. And you can use them at home if you would like to practice. As you see, there were different sections: vocabulary, grammar, dictation, everything. So everything is at your hand, and these are all free. So don't worry, even if you have to register. It's going to be free.
Yeah, you don't need to pay a penny. And of course, we also know the other apps and web pages such as BBC, QuizRed, and so on. But we thought you would be interested in something else, okay? Because these web pages are not very well known, and there are still plenty. But I think for a short period of time, that would be enough.
Exactly. So thank you so much for being here with us. And if you have any questions, please type them in the comment section, and see you soon.